I'm curious, just in terms of like editing, just so people know, right, in case, they haven't seen your editing background, what genres do you currently like to edit and why?
I like working in speculative fiction. Pretty much anything under the umbrella of speculative fiction that's not erotica or anything like that. I can't really do that stuff. I'm not into it. But I mostly do grimdark fantasy, epic fantasy, that kind of stuff. I've had more science fiction authors start coming to me. I mean, anything with magic and blood, really, I'm good with. So,
At some point, once I finish this other stuff, I have like a Warhammer type thing that I'd love for you to look at because I said discussing that actually. He's like, oh man, he's like, you should send that to Sarah at some point. I was like, I know the magic system and stuff. I feel like was I'm like evening out. I have like quite a few of the, the plot and stuff like that. I have to just like kind of fly through. I think I'm like debating if I want that to be nano or not, or if I want to go back. I have quite a few. I have to just pick this year. I have like quite a few things. I have my novella. I'm definitely getting done before nano. I have like a bunch of like beta readers, like ready to go and stuff. Yeah, but I'm like really ready to do something else. Same thing.
yeah.
I'm like nano for me is gonna have to be a fun nano because the last couple years I've been doing the same like urban fantasy series. I'm just like kind of ready to do something else. But that's
Yeah.
really cool. Well, I just wanted people to know, because I didn't know that you were doing more sci-fi lately. So that's really
Yeah.
good for me to know too. So that's really neat. I'm just curious, just as like just another like subset question. What do you notice like kind of some of the similarities or differences are between helping people edit the fantasy and like sci-fi genres?
Um, Usually on my side, it's the technology that I have to be aware of. Like
Good one.
fantasy doesn't really have much usually, and
Mhm.
science fiction tends to have a lot. So, like, in fantasy, usually I'll have to pay more attention to the weapons and like the little tiny things in battles. And science fiction, I'm more kind of pay attention to the continuity of how technology is used and if that makes sense. And that's of
Oh,
course not across the board, but
mm,
it's just different flavors of storytelling. And usually it's like magic or technology in
yeah.
this field. One of them is going to be more complex than the other.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't know. I always like to think about that because I think, I don't know. I think that's a great answer because it really makes you kind of think a little bit differently. Like also like because you are the editor, right? So it's like you are the prime reader. So, that's great that somebody like yourself, right, can pick out those things. I know for my own, novella that you helped me with, I was like, oh, I didn't even consider, some of these things because I know those things, right? So I think it's really good to have somebody keep track of both of those things within the genres. I know I've also never heard anybody ask that question, so I'm glad that I asked you because I don't know. That makes me think about things when I'm writing, I think a little differently. So that's really cool. It's fun that you're an author and an editor because I feel like there's so many different things that are different, but also, can help in both fields for people. So I think that's really cool.